In the waters of the Caribbean, something is happening that's much bigger than the official story we're being told. Since September 2025, the United States military has carried out a series of deadly strikes on small boats near Venezuela. Washington calls this a war on drugs, targeting so-called narco-terrorists. But with American strategic bombers now patrolling the coastline and a significant US military force gathering in the area, that story is starting to fall apart. This isn't just about drugs. It feels like a military tipping point after years of pressure, pushing two nations to the edge of a conflict that could swallow an entire continent. So what's really driving America's push toward a potential war with Venezuela? The answer isn't simple. It's a dangerous mix of old political ambitions, massive natural resources, and a new fight for influence in America's own backyard. This crisis didn't just appear overnight, but it is escalating quickly. As of October 2025, there have been at least 10 strike incidents in the Caribbean and Pacific, leaving more than 43 people dead. The US government, under President Donald Trump, says these actions are a necessary part of dismantling criminal networks. But the growing military footprint tells a bigger story. The US has increased its military presence in the region, deploying advanced naval warships in a significant show of force. Before we get into the human cost of this escalating crisis, if you're finding this analysis valuable, please take a moment to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Your support helps us continue to uncover the real story behind the headlines. This build-up goes way beyond stopping a few small boats. It's a clear signal, and the threats are getting more direct. High-level officials like Secretary of State Marco Rubio have suggested that strikes on Venezuelan land targets could be next a huge leap from sea operations to a potential attack on a sovereign nation. In response, Venezuela has started mobilizing its own troops. This has created a tense standoff where a single miscalculation could ignite an open war. To understand why this is happening now, you have to look past the smoke of the current crisis and at decades of US policy. Washington's goal of removing Venezuela's socialist government isn't new. But under President Trump and his Secretary of State Marco Rubio, that policy has become much more aggressive. The strategy seems to be shifting from sanctions and diplomatic pressure to more direct action. President Trump recently confirmed he authorized the CIA to conduct covert operations inside Venezuela. This isn't just a policy update, it's the revival of an old idea. Some in the administration even talk about it as a new Monroe Doctrine, signaling that the US won't hesitate to intervene in what it considers its historical sphere of influence. For those who support this hardline stance, like Secretary Rubio, the objective is clear: remove President Nicolás Maduro and use force if necessary. And under all this political maneuvering, there's a resource that can't be ignored: oil. Venezuela sits on the world's largest proven oil reserves, a massive strategic prize in a shaky global energy market. But this conflict is also about geopolitics. Over the last few years, Russia, China, and Iran have all built up their presence in Venezuela, offering economic and diplomatic support to the Maduro government. Washington sees this as a direct challenge from global rivals. So the deployment of US military power isn't just a message for Caracas. It's also a warning shot to Moscow, Beijing, and Tehran that their growing influence in the Western Hemisphere will be challenged. The struggle for Venezuela is quickly becoming a proxy battle in a much larger global power struggle. Lost in all this geopolitical chess are the people of Venezuela. The country is already in the middle of one of the worst humanitarian crises in modern history. According to the UN, nearly 8 million Venezuelans have already fled their homes, trying to escape economic collapse, hunger, and political turmoil. The threat of war is like pouring gasoline on that fire. Crippling sanctions have already done immense damage to the economy, and the shadow of a military conflict only makes things worse. Neighboring countries are already overwhelmed by the ongoing migration crisis and are terrified of the chaos that a war or state collapse would unleash across their borders. While the Venezuelan government has condemned the US actions, other nations in the region are just watching with deep concern, caught between a US military buildup and the potential for a conflict that could destabilize everything. With diplomatic channels nearly shut down and military forces moving into position, the path to war is looking clearer. The official reason of a war on drugs is wearing thin, revealing what appears to be a much deeper, more dangerous game of regime change. The question is no longer if a conflict could happen, but what final spark might actually ignite it. The fate of millions of Venezuelans and the stability of the entire region now hangs on the next moves in this high-stakes standoff. Before you go, don't miss this. Click on the thumbnail on your screen now to watch our deep dive on the alarming truth about America's border crisis. We reveal the urgent challenges facing US border security and how they intertwine with global conflicts. In this video, we explore the unprecedented rise in migration, the human stories behind the chaos, and the strain on Border Patrol resources. Thank you for watching.